me think about the answer. The typical angiosperm anther, right? We talked about how the different parts of a flowers are there for reproduction process, right? And we are talking about the anther, right? Which is the male reproductive
Yes.
structure of the flower, isn't it? So, do you remember anything?
It's bilobe and bifurcated.
It's bilobe, you are right. Bilobe is there. Then, next, how many sporangia are found in the anther?
Um,
You remember? I'll give you hints. You remember we studied this structure where we
yes.
studied about the different layers. So how many sporangia are present?
Um,
Four of them, right?
four.
Two in each of the lobe. Okay. If this
Four.
is the
Yeah.
lobe number one,
Yes.
this is the lobe number two. So two of them are present in each of the lobes. So that is what we call as bilobed and tetrasporangia.
Uh,
Clear?
tetra. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Tetra is referring to the four. Now the innermost wall layer of anther. What is the innermost layer of the anther? Do you remember the names of the layers?
Mm,
Okay, just 1 second. I'm just coming in 1 second. Okay. Till then, you,
okay.
you can think the answer. Yes. Did you get the answer?
Um, Number one is nutritive in function.
The voice is not. Yes, tell me.
Number one, ma'am, it's nutritive in function.
It's nutritive in function. What is the name of the innermost layer?
Tapetum.
Tap. Very good. All right. Now moving forward, the process of formation of microspores from a pollen mother cell. Microspore formation. What is known as?
Um, Microsporogenesis.
Very good. Exactly. Microsporogenesis. Now the pollen, this one I have already taken. So the pollen grain represents the male gamete, isn't it? It is the male gamete,
Yes.
right? All right. Now the most resistant organic material known that makes the outermost layer of pollen wall is called as
Um, Pectin.
which one?
Pectin. Number
No,
one.
no, not pectin. The most, like, imagine or try to recall the pollen grain. The pollen grain had like a structure, right? It had two layers. One was the outer layer, one was the inner layer. So the outer layer is made up of sporopollen. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now choose the correct option with respect to the function of germ pore. What is the function of germ pore? You remember? I drew something like this while I was teaching you.
Um,
What is the
it
function of germ pore?
it forms pollen tubes
It
and
allows the growth.
releases male gametes.
Correct. It allows the growth of the
Pollen.
pollen. Yes, very good. All right, now moving forward, the thin and the continuous wall layer of pollen is called as
Intine.
intern. The two cell stage of mature pollen grain consists of what two cells?
I don't remember this one, ma'am.
Yeah, tell you. This is the pollen grain, and then there was a structure like this. Now you remember?
No, ma'am.
Okay. One is the vegetative cell and the other is the generative cell. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Now, in 40% of angiosperms, the pollen grains are shed at which cell stage?
Three cell stage. Three cell.
Okay, three cell stage, correct. Pollen allergy is caused by pollens of.
Parthenium.
Very good. What is the common name of Parthenium?
Um, I forgot.
Carrot grass. It is
Sorry?
carrot grass.
Okay.
Okay, and this particular plant, it came like a wheat. Like when wheat was imported in India, wheat, right? So along with wheat,
Yes.
Parthenium also came, and that became actually very detrimental to many people. Now the pollen
Yes.
viability of rice and pea, respectively. Pollen viability. You remember what pollen viability is?
When the pollen is visible,
When the pollen is?
when the pollen, when able to get fertilized,
Hmm. Meaning how well the pollen would work, isn't it?
yes, uh, several months and 30 minutes.
Several months and 30 minutes. No. For the rice, it's actually 30 minutes. Okay. And for the
Okay.
pea, it's several months. So it would be this. Okay.
Okay.
See, and it's all right if you are like choosing wrong options also, because you're not prepared with the chapter, isn't it? So once you will be
Yes, ma'am.
prepared with the chapter,
Reply.
it'll be yes.
I didn't revise this one.
That is what I'm saying. I don't mind this. Once you will be prepared with the chapter, it will be so
Yes.
easier, like so much easier, and you'll have so much fun in solving the questions. Now, see, since these classes will be arranged, so for your NEET examination, so NEET has multiple choice questions, isn't it? So
Yes.
we'll be doing these MCQs together. Okay. So for the next
Okay.
Sunday, you like I really hope that you just learn this particular chapter, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants, and we'll talk about like, or we'll do all the questions together in the class, so that you'll also
Okay,
know how
ma'am.
to approach the MCQs, and we'll also do the previous year questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Now the 12th question: integumented megasporangium is called as.
Ovule.
Very good, exactly. The nutritive tissue present in the ovule is called as.
Um, Nucellus.
Nucellus, correct. It is the tissue that is surrounding the whole entire ovule, right? All right. So the number of embryo sac generally is one.
Yes.
Take it as a fact. Okay. The number of embryo
Uh,
sac in the ovule is
4.
generally one. Hmm?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now the ploidy level of nucellus and female gametophyte.
Um, I don't remember this one.
All right. It's okay. See, when we talk about the nucellus, so since it is the nutritive
Nucellus
tissue.
is 2 and I
Nucellus is
remember
two.
that, but I
And
don't
female
remember female
gametophyte, meaning the
gametophyte.
female gamete. What will it be? Haploid or diploid?
Haploid.
Correct. It will be haploid because the gamete will always be haploid, isn't it? So as to form a diploid zygote. So the option will be, which option is the correct option?
And
Hmm?
3. 3.
Three. Correct. Exactly the third one.
Okay.
All right. Now the number of nuclei in a mature embryo sac. Now try to recall this. Number of nuclei.
Hmm.
Try to recall the mature embryo sac. I'll tell you like this. You remember we discussed
8.
cells like. Hmm?
8.
Eight. Correct. What? How would you describe a mature embryo sac?
Um, it's it's egg shape. It has an egg shape,
I can't hear you, dear.
and it has an egg shape and has uh
Okay.
four
Okay.
four cells.
It is seven-celled, eight nucleated, isn't it?
Oh, okay, yes. Ma'am, 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
I'm back.
So the embryo sac that is mature That is 7-celled, 8-nucleated, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Now, the largest cell of the mature embryo sac is largest cell.
Central cell.
Very good, central cell. Now, the structures which guide the pollen tube into the synergid. You remember those structures that were responsible for guiding it into the synergid?
Uh, Filiform apparatus.
Hmm, correct. Filiform apparatus. Now, geitonogamy. What is geitonogamy? Which kind of pollination is it?
I don't remember, ma'am.
Is it self-pollination or it is cross-pollination? Which kind of pollination?
Self-pollination.
You can sort of imagine it as the self-pollination, but it's just that in this kind of pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to another of the same plant takes place. So basically, like even though the pollen is of different flower, but the plant is same. So this particular thing would be genetically the pollen grain will be of the same plant, so there will be no variation. So it will be genetically autogamous. Autogamous means self-pollinating.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. All right. Now, which of the following plants provides safe place for the insect to lay their eggs?
Mm. Amorphophallus.
Amorphophallus. Correct.
Amorphophallus.
Now, the examples of water pollinated flowers.
Number one, lotus, water lily, zostera.
Lotus, water lily, and zostera. No. Lotus is not water pollinated. It is a water plant, but it is not pollinated by water. Pollinated by water, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That the pollen grains are being carried by the
By
water.
the water.
Hmm. So, see
Number
the
four.
fourth option. Third,
Yeah, number four. Fourth.
number fourth, yes, Vallisneria, Hydrilla, and Zostera. All of them are water pollinated, and they are living in water also, pollinated by water also. Now, which of the following is
Okay.
not a characteristic feature of insect pollinated flowers?
Um, Number four.
Number four, mucilage. Yeah, correct. Now, why? Can you explain why?
Ma'am, I just guessed because the other three are there. I know the other three are parts of a insect
Okay.
pollinated flower
Okay, let us see each one of them one by one. The fragrance. What is the fragrance required for?
to attract the insect,
Correct. Nectaries.
for the insects to feed on, to
Yeah.
use.
Right. This is the pollen reward, isn't it? Then
Yes.
what about foul odor?
Um,
If we are talking about fragrance, then okay, certain plant has a fragrance. Then what about those flowers or plants that do not have a fragrance?
Also to attract the insect.
See, the foul odors are usually there for attracting the beetles. Okay, because the beetles, they do not like
Okay.
the fragrance, they like the foul odor.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Now moving forward, pollen robbers.
Mm. Number one, consume pollen or nectar.
Correct. They consume the pollen or nectar and do not cause the pollination, isn't it?
Pollination. Yes.
Yes. All right. Very good. Dioecious condition prevents. Dioecious. What is the dioecious condition? Do you remember?
Mm. No, ma'am.
See, dioecious condition is when the male flower is present on a different plant and the female flower is present on a different plant. So, like, it's not, it's like unisexuality. Okay.
Okay.
Single, yeah, single sex on one plant, the other one on the other. So, in that case, self pollination would obviously not happen, isn't it? And after that,
Uh, Number four,
yes, number four, autogamy and geitonogamy will not happen. Then why would xenogamy happen? Your answer is right. Explain why would xenogamy happen?
because it's the
Hmm?
transfer of pollen grains from one anther to another stigma
Hmm.
of a
But
different plant.
yeah, here a different plant is involved, isn't it? So when a different
Yes.
plant, for example, male plant is different, female plant is different, so easily the pollen can be transferred. So dioecious
Yes.
condition will obviously prevent autogamy because that is self-pollination, and then this will also be prevented. But xenogamy will not be prevented. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, from the double fertilization, post-fertilization structures, the role of triple fusion in angiosperm is to produce. Do you remember double fertilization, triple fusion?
A little bit.
Hmm?
A little bit.
I can't hear you.
Just I don't remember much, ma'am.
Okay, okay. See, double fertilization is that condition wherein syngamy and triple fusion take place. Now, syngamy is when the male gamete fuses with the female gamete and forms a zygote. And whenever triple fusion means the second male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei and forms the endosperm. And that leads to the formation of primary endosperm nucleus. So the triple fusion in angiosperm is to produce the PEN, primary endosperm nucleus. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, the production of seed without fertilization. Normally, you know that the
Uh,
seed is, yes,
about mixes.
correct, apomixis. Now the central cell after triple fusion becomes,
Primary endosperm nucleus.
no, this is not about the nucleus, it's about the cell. So it will become primary endosperm cell. Then only it,
Okay.
like this particular cell will have the nucleus, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, the diploid and the triploid product of double fertilization are diploid and triploid products.
I don't know this one, ma'am.
See, I'll tell you, you'll only tell me the answer, okay? When the male
Okay.
gamete fuses with the female gamete, a zygote is formed. So, what will be the ploidy of zygote? Male gamete fuses with the female gamete. So, what will be the ploidy of the zygote?
I don't remember this topic, ma'am.
See, I'm telling you the answer. See, when the male gamete fuses with the female gamete, it leads to the formation of zygote, right? Now, you only told me in the previous question that the male gamete is haploid, the female gamete is haploid. So, what will be the ploidy of zygote? Will it be haploid or will it be diploid?
Haploid.
No, n plus n is equal to n. So, the zygote will be diploid. So, this diploid
Okay.
structure that will be formed will be the zygote. Now, I said that the second male gamete, which is again N, fuses with the two polar nuclei, that is 2N. So now what will be the primary endosperm? Diploid or triploid?
Diploid. Diploid.
Triploid. So this would be the answer. Zygote is diploid and primary endosperm nucleus is diploid.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now the double endosperm is found in, okay, this is coconut. See, the coconut has the water and it has that white portion that we eat. So it has two types of endosperm,
Yes.
cellular and, yes,
No,
are you
no.
asking?
You
Okay,
can continue, ma'am.
yeah.
No, no.
So, okay. So the double endosperm is found. It has two kinds of endosperm. This is not for your syllabus. Now see this, eggs albuminous seeds. Eggs albuminous seeds are those seeds that actually have consumed, or you can say they have the endosperm present in them. The endosperm is persistent. The examples for which would be
Um,
pea,
Option
groundnut,
three.
and beets. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now the single cotyledon in monocot. You know that monocots just have one cotyledon, isn't it?
Yes.
So what
Scutellum,
will
which
it?
is lateral in position.
Hmm?
Scut Scutellum, which is lateral in position.
Correct. Lateral position scutellum will be there. Now the sheath enclosing plumule and radicle.
I don't know this one, ma'am.
See, like I told you, R for radical, R for roots, and R that is there, coleorhiza, right? And then plumule P is there, so P for coleoptile, right? The P comes in the coleoptile, R comes in coleorhiza, so this one, okay?
Okay.
Coleoptile is the sheath that protects the plumule, and coleorhiza protects the radicle. This is like a little trick that you can use, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Now then comes the perispermic seeds. Now, perispermic seeds are those seeds that have persistent nucellus.
Black pepper.
Very good. Exactly, black. Okay. Now see this. Which one of the following is the parthenocarpic fruit? Artificially synthesized fruit.
Banana.
Correct. Banana. All right. Now talking about the flower again. Now this is a section B part again, talking about the flower and its structures and everything. So I have ticked the first one only. So the pollen grains are spherical normally, and their micrometer is 25 to 50. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
you can learn it as it is. Now the vegetative cell. Okay, now this one. Now tell me, vegetative cell. You remember the two cells that are present in the pollen grain? That is, one is vegetative and one is generative. So now they're asking about the vegetative cell.
Um, Option B, irregularly shaped nucleus, large and has large
Yes, correct.
irregular shaped nucleus.
Hmm, correct. All right. Now see, cryopreservation is like a preservation method for storing pollen grains. We do it in the liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now see
Yes,
this one. Choose the odd one out with respect to gynoecium. This WRT means with respect to.
respective.
Yeah. So with respect to gynoecium. So which one is the odd one out that you have to find out?
Number 3,
Number three. Why?
because the ovules in papaya are
So what is ovule?
there are multiple ovules in, sorry,
What do you mean by ovule?
the seeds,
Correct. Ovule
the
means the
parts
seed. Correct. Very good.
which develop
Papaya
into the
has so
seed.
many seeds, right? But mango has one. So this obviously is wrong because they are saying
Yes,
that papaya and mango both have one seed. So that is not possible, right? Very good. All right, this one I've already
yes.
attempted. Hmm, this one. The type of flowers which always produce seeds even in the absence of pollinators.
Ma'am, what does cleistogamous mean again?
Hmm?
What does cleistogamous mean?
See, clistogamous is when the flowers are closed, and chasmogamous
They are?
when the closed.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Option
clistogamous
2.
is yeah. So option B would be the right because even like when the flowers are closed, so obviously the pollen grains will fall on the female part, isn't it? That is
Yes.
clistogamous finish.